Hey everybody, John Ramdeen and Robin Black with you on our downtown studios. A couple of rumored fights to get to. A tremendous fight at 170 pounds. It looks like Jorge Masvidal can't get a massive name. Who in the world wants to fight Jorge Masvidal? Demian Maia wants to fight Masvidal. And just when you think about this fight, how in the world is Demian Maia going to get in as Masvidal staying outside and battering this guy? Then you think to yourself, wait a second, how is Masvidal going to stay upright with Demian Maia constantly looking to trip him?
So Demian Maia's whole game of takedowns is based on fluidity. You ever notice that?
Yes.
He never explodes into shit. He's never driving through anything. It's all fluidity. And he's now entering Jorge Masvidal's specialty. And that's what we're going to see. Sometimes you look at something, and when we look as fans, we look and we go, a takedown. You go in, you grab the leg, you pull it out. There's 30 little moments in there. There's 30 or 50. If you think of them, Josh Waitkins, who wrote The Art of Fighting, looks at it as frames in a film. And if you see there's only 3, and your opponent has 30, as he understands all of the moments between everything, then he drags you into those areas you don't even understand. And that's how Demian Maia takes people down. And Jorge Masvidal understands many of those frames and many of those moments. So it's not going to be as easy to take Jorge Masvidal down as it is to take down somebody who uses more strength and explosiveness. And that battle for me is the fascinating one, the one in between the open field and the ground, because that's where this fight is going to be won and lost. And Demian Maia will realize, and I know he already knows it, and I know he's taking this fight. I say I know. I feel like a reason Demian Maia might take a fight like this is the test. Jorge Masvidal is a test. Jorge Masvidal is one of the elite fighters in the world, as Demian Maia is. So let's get our asses in there and fight. They were both offered to Diaz. And if Diaz isn't down for one of that right now, Diaz can do whatever the hell he wants. Put them together. And I'm really glad. If these guys do take this fight, it's heavily rumored, it's being discussed.
Yep.
If they do, respect to both of them.
Masvidal's American top team teammate, Dustin Poirier, has a huge test. Again, a rumored fight, set to take on the former lightweight champion, Eddie Alvarez. We saw what happened when he fought Conor McGregor. Nobody's ever done that to Eddie Alvarez. How will he rebound from that loss against Conor McGregor?
Eddie Alvarez will rebound very, very well. This is the ups and downs of fighting and life and business and family and everything are to be expected. And the further you go down the road, the more you know that weird things happen. Everything's unpredictable. Not everything is going to go your way. And you get better and better at the art of bouncing back from it. And Eddie Alvarez will be more than fine. And he gets a perfect dance partner. These two guys are basically the same guy. I don't know if you noticed, I've never seen them in the same room together. I will not realize that they are two different individuals until I see them in the cage together. They're exactly the same man. One of them fights lefty and one of them fights righty. One has more tattoos, but they're the same guy. And that's why this fight's going to be spectacular.
An incredible fight at 205 pounds. Alexander Gustafsson making his return, taking on Glover Teixeira. I'm sure the winner of that fight will be the ¡1 contender at light heavyweight. What do you think Gustafsson's been working on since the last time we've seen him?
Yeah, I like the way you think, brother. That's what we got to find out, because Gustafsson's a grower. I don't mean that in the shower versus grower kind of way. I mean that in in that way that we grow as you're constantly searching for improvement, and that's who Gustafsson is. And so the big question will be, and you saw it as he entered the John Jones fight. In that fight, you're like, oh, all kinds of growth and improvement in his tools, but also how he fights and his mentality and everything. And we're going to see that again. And Glover's going to be tested for sure. Glover, great comeback fight after getting starched by Anthony Johnson, and that's great to see. Glover Teixeira is one of these guys, as you see him fight, you cheer for him. And this is spectacular. The reach is going to be a challenge. Anybody who thinks they want to fight John Jones, either in the future or again, as in Glover's case or Cormier's case, you go in and you fight Gustafsson first and see because Gustafsson is just the same test as John Jones. And one day he might rematch Jones, and he's the guy with the skills to beat him.
Bunch of cool fights coming up on the UFC's calendar. Keep it locked to FN. We'll let you know some other fights in the future.